Hello and welcome. It is Tuesday, the 6th day of August 2019. My name is Derek, and this is the Money Charts channel. Like always, all bets, trades of the like within each his own risk and their own reward basis because it's a high risk, high reward. You're not going to see articles stating, oh, this crypto surges 2%. And I'll tell you which one the mainstream said surged 2%. No, they will say that, but it's not on Bitcoin. For the day, this is the 3 day getting above it. Bitcoin's actually down today, negative 0.65% now. But yesterday it was up 7 and 2/3. And continuation above the 18 average of highs nicely. The amount of up days in a row, three, four, five, six, seven. We could have eight today. I mean, it's only down $78 right now. It's anyone's game on who comes out ahead. Red candle versus green candle as it's 10:19 a.m. Eastern Time as of the recording of this video. Let's take a look at this on a 3 day chart and then let's take a look at the trend line. Actually, no, I want to take a look at this on the we already take a look at the 3 day. The 3 hours what I meant to say, and I'm going to remove these lines, so I'm going to just change it up to the against BTC USDT and then go shorter term. All right, so what we're gonna do is gonna draw the trend line that connects within this high, this high, this high, this high, which is gonna turn out to be this high and this high as well. And I did it earlier, so here we have it coming up to this level yesterday, and then consolidating around the 11,800 level. We'll talk about that very soon. And then well, you can see here, oh, failed break above it. It got up to close to 12,000, under 12,004. Well, we took a look at Fibonacci from this high, 13,970. I've already done the numbers from the Bitstamp exchange number level and 9,060 here, but they're going to be a little bit different because of this being the Bitstamp numbers already pre-calculated. 11,792, which has definitely been a key level. 10,668 as well. And I've put in those Fibonacci lines for both of them as we take a look at this on the shorter term time frame, even further or shorter each time, 3 hour chart. After resisting it almost perfectly here on this period, its high was 10,670. That's 2 basis points off or $2 off. It has a correction to the 18, gets above it, then it almost supports it perfectly. Support was 10,662 as the low. I mean, $6 off. And piercing extra at each time, by the way, too. That's, I believe, 10,670. Yeah, extra too. Just happens to be luck, I think. And then an extra pierce below here on the 23 and 2 hour timestamp. Comes up right up to this level. And how it resists this like this. And even furthermore, how when it breaks out above it, it has a significant move over 12.3 or an addition of over 500 basis points. And then to quickly give it back and then to show one of these 36 minutes and 33 seconds left in a 3 hour period. The vast majority of it is given in. And it just continues now to do what it was doing yesterday, resist this level of Fibonacci. So we're looking at that classic potential failed breakout. And that, of course, is breaking, and most certainly a key level in this case. Not only was it pre-scripted or pre-calculated mathematically, but it did what these fib levels usually do. So it then breaks the key level of support, and then it's now came back down into congestion area. It's already established a more deeper level of support in here on the short term at 11,577, and this one here came down to 11,570. So yeah, I hit there, and actually 572 I see as a low here. This low in here is 550. I'll even go down to, and you could even make a case for these lows at like 500. But if it starts having significant moves below that, then we could be talking of a move back down to above or below 11,000, and possibly even a hit of the Fibonacci mark at the 10,668 overall within these Fibonacci levels. And before we get to it, I'm just going to take a look at how this worked on the 4 minute and just its nice big volatility and trying to do its rebound mark now as it came up to this fib level here. Short term was corrected to the 18, back to it again. Further correction, and now the 18 and this line working together. It's got to break it one side or another, either above this level or breaking and failing within the 18. But yes, again with that Fibonacci and how I perceive it as such, you have a move from obviously a key high and a key low, and this is a spot of a market that went down. And anything that's below this line here puts the market in bearish territory. So therefore, as this market got above here, it tried to escape that but was unsuccessful in doing so at that time. So markets remain in this bearish sentiment, but it didn't make a new lower low. Okay, interesting was the key point because a lot of these setups in here from July the 24th all the way until around the July 29th and even the 30th was saying, okay, the weakness on the lows were most likely not only going to test this level, and technically speaking, it was a large pierce above. Not only should it test it, but it should take it out to the downside, and it didn't do that. Getting above this Fibonacci to this line here is neutrality zone, which is where we are now. It attempted to leave neutrality zone, sort of like it attempted to leave bearish territory here. Obviously, so far, unsuccessful and such. So within the already neutral setup, between 9100 and 13.5 and higher, it is neutral within that. So it's neutral within a bullish run from these lows. And a lot of times these neutral formats do give way to the or work towards the current trend. Of course, in this case, that is a bullish trend. And as I mentioned before, as far as the long term is concerned, as long as price action stays between the 9,000 and close to 14, we'll just continue to pause in here. It's been this little range in here. It's just going to stay within this. If it does it for so long, it'll meet up within the 18. But as I've mentioned before, no resistance on the lows, no resistance on the highs. And furthermore, how it's holding this over the months of July and August so far in this sideways range. We could even see early indications, of course, for an ascending triangle, which is this to this. Again, that's another bullish setup that's good to have because getting above here should give us, on a conservative level, a test of previous high. And bullishly, it could stop going up from there, and it could go sideways, or it could come back, meet the 18, some form, some way. It could do it over a large period of time, like a year or 4 months, or it could just instantly get above it. And there's no way of me knowing. I just realized that if it does get above this, it's probably going to have a continuation of a fast move on a break of previous resistance. And that was most certainly the case last time. When it broke previous resistance, there was a fast move. When it broke previous resistance here, it had a fast move. And when it broke previous resistance here, well, that happened within one period. And this one period was an up month of 450%. And apparently it's NEO, the one that surges by 2% as per intraday movement. Can it rise further? I mean, surge. Sometimes you need the opposite word for quite the opposite. So now let's take a look at NEO. And I suppose the surge was at one point in here, but they did say it came to a high of about 1260, and I got 12.584 here. So, yeah, now can it go higher? It could. It already did from May the 9th to here. That was a move of 8.36 units, which is dollars, to almost 21. That's well better than double. On the 3 day chart, we see it fall from close to 200 down to about 5 and change. And then go from 5 and change up to about 20. So volatility is there. Markets go up, and of course, markets go down. And when we look at NEO against BTC, well, this is at levels not seen since it was breaking out in here. And it had a wild breakout. Ethereum's been doing the same story, actually. At least when I looked at it yesterday or the day before, I noticed that. So I'll show that as well afterwards. But it's been in a very noticeable downtrend. As far as calculating Fibonacci, a 2x hit high at zero point 0, we'll call it 14,029. And a low in here of, well, I can see about under, well, 10,000 Satoshi, so that would be 3 zeros. So I would need basically 100, it sounds like. Which puts up the key numbers in at 0021 and 00066. So the 21 would have worked out in here, which was the support here. So this thing could go down to the 66 handle if there's going to be further decline. But if it does, I'd be curious to see if there's any key level. Overall, either the altcoins are going to go or they're not. And if they go, just like we've seen in here, tremendous moves higher. As I mentioned with Ethereum, same sort of situation. It's at 0.0195 now, but it's now at levels on the early breakout parts of March of 2017. And yeah, so within it, of course, it had this move here, higher high, higher low, higher high. The last higher low, it's got to go down 3x just to even test that right now. But it has broken down below this multiple hit area of support at about the 0.025 handle, even 0.024, as of course it's at the 19. Let's move on to theta, and because the log scale sucks, I could multiply this by 100 million with the TradingView Pro Plus account. Technically, it's just a way of around a measure they haven't been able to figure out, and that's how to do log shares amongst the Satoshi level. Because for whatever reason, it just doesn't work out too well. I can go on to TradingView. Excuse me, I can go on to CoinMarketCap and get a line chart. Amazing line charts. And the log scale works phenomenal. I can go on Bittrex, although they don't have theta on there. And their charts have a perfect log scale. But on this, at least they used to have it on Bittrex. I don't know if they do anymore or not. So don't quote me on that. At least they did in the past. They still might. But as this goes, the bullish setup has obviously come to a halt. It did a few days ago, as the price action had this day on July the 17th, where it established resistance at a little over 1,400 Satoshi. The establishing of resistance occurred when one person bought it up to that level in one buy, which was close to a seven-figure purchase. And I think it was anyway. It was a large purchase, six figures anyway. And then it was about 20 minutes later, someone bought it up to not near as high because the supply wasn't as liquid as it was before with the first person getting it through, but it was bought up to 13.95 on that same day, about 20 minutes. And from that point, the first off, the price action consolidated originally between the 11.22 and the 11.68 mark, which was higher than where it was before at that time. So it did hold a portion of the move where it started from, which in itself at first was a good bullish sign. And then it continuously had a pattern of higher highs and higher lows. But from the last breakout, which obviously was a failed one, price action was unable to get up to the previous high. Therefore, a wait to break resistance, it never happened. You waited for something that didn't go on. And obviously, you didn't take any part of the decline because of such. But obviously, straight down days in a row. Not like I haven't seen this before in Theta in the past. And as we can see back in here, I believe there was. Where did we see it before? Maybe it was a week. It was a weekly time frame. We'll be able to see it even here. So while we're at it, let's just take a quick look at the weekly. Now, as it goes, you could say, you know what, it's getting destroyed on the 18 average. Yeah, it has. But let's look at it on two measures. One, it's already had a good leg below any of these current levels we're looking at, which is between 1200 and 1160. It's already had a good leg from that level as it is. That doesn't mean it can't go further, and it can't have a lower high rally, maybe meet up to the 18 or correct sideways before the next one. But when I look at the 3 day time frame, I'm going to see the 18 average of lows as the area from where it's barely below now. And within it, it's just going sideways. It attempted to go sideways here on July the 15th. It kind of has. And well, now it's at the lower end of this. So for the decline here, we could easily break below this support. I thought earlier today, maybe I could add into a few of these altcoins. I'm like, no, but just wait for the market conditions to tell you. If this does break below, and we do, then I probably will do such. Well, buy a few coins, because when I talk about altcoin ratio trading, that means when coins go up and down together, you almost have to. One of the other strategies is selling and buying with Bitcoin together as well. So when all the coins go up together, and that has not been happening, and it might not, and if it does happen, it's going to happen when it's ready, and it's definitely overdue as it is now. But when all coins go up together, that means you sell both of them for Bitcoin and or the U.S. dollar tether as well, or for me it would probably be uh, the true U.S. dollar. I'd probably choose, but either one, whatever you choose, and then try to buy them back at a cheaper price. But with that being said, when they're most all going down together, then you'd buy them together with such. And that's what I'd be looking to do if this has a significant break below. And I see price actions maybe around the 700s or so, I'd probably be adding. And that's, of course, if that situation comes into play. Now, overall, as far as Theta is concerned, on July the 7th, which is will be basically a month now, I decided to just write in what the prices were at that time and see how the coins I'm trading against the ratio would be handling both against the dollar and against Bitcoin. And this is how it stands. Bitcoin's up 1 point. This is as updated last, like maybe an hour ago. But Bitcoin at 11,660 is up 1.57% since 1500 hours 45 minutes on July the 7th of this year. But we look at cards like Cosmos, and now these numbers are practically the same because this is about the same as well. But it's down over 30. Bitcoin Cash is down about 17. Dash is down a third of its value. DGB is down one fifth almost. Ethereum Classic down a quarter. GoChain down about 30%. GRS down about 30. Komodo has lost almost half of its value. Now it was rallying before then, but even still. Litecoin down about 21%. Neo down about a third. Qdom down 38. Sky down 39. T Fuel down 36. Theta up barely. And it's been in the green for quite some time with everything else in the red for quite some time. So despite the fact that it's not doing so well, it's actually kicking ass against everything else that I'm trading anyway. With Tron down 37 as is Waves, Lumen down a quarter, and Ripple down a fifth or so. And within Ripple, it's now broken down below this level of support in here. So a little bit of a failed breakout rally. It's now at levels not seen since early stages of its 2017 breakout. Stellar Lumens against Bitcoin. It's at all-time lows on the Binance exchange, or Binance time lows, because not technically all-time lows. So Binance, it's at Binance time lows. Does that make sense to you? It doesn't. It does to me, actually. No, it doesn't. But does it make sense to you that it's ticker symbol STR on Poloniex? No, that's just what it is. And again, we're seeing a look at the poor logarithmic scaling in here. So let's do the multiply 100 million. And let's eliminate that false move down in there. Okay. So in 2017, it came down to about 130 Satoshi. Then it rallied up to 5,000. Well, it's easily over 3. And then it consolidated down to 200, but really 300 was a better number because that was easier to buy and sell at. And then it rallied up to over 5,000. So volatility is big, but again, at lows not seen in quite some time against Bitcoin. The Bitcoin dominance, it's now breaking above this level of resistance. So one of the, I'm going to say one of the words, and really it's two words, that the market would really have is that of no mercy. And both in a good way and a bad way. It doesn't care how good or bad your portfolio is. And there's going to be a lot of portfolios going way up and way down in these times because of this monstrous volatility. So, in answering that question before, does NEO have the potential for a rise? And we'll call it a decent sized rise. Of course, they have the potential. And when all of the coins collectively are going down, and it's not like this hasn't happened before in the past, and it hasn't been uncommon before when they all collectively go up. Would it make sense to you that if that were to happen, that NEO would go up? Well, most likely, yes. And I do believe that if there's a whole bunch of, if we do have one of those movements where everything goes up, that the coins that become failures even soon as in within the next 6 to 18 months, will participate in the rally, although making what would be lower highs almost certainly. But in this case here with the Bitcoin dominance, we've had violent, no mercy moves before, as we can see here in this move in here, even this short-term move in 2017, but this big one here, the December and January of 2017, because we are now at levels from this point of the high in here. Breaking above that, we got resistance of about 3/4 of 1, or 75%. And this would be from the July highs, as well as the May highs and the breakdown highs, a little higher than that on May of 2017. Could it go back into 80? Again, I don't see why it couldn't, but I would be very, very surprised to what would be the delight of all of the Bitcoin maximists out there that if it could actually go up and hold and stay above these levels for any significantly decent period of time. Because as I've said so many times before, markets go up, markets go down, markets go down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Some sideways moves here and there, which will then go up or down after. Yeah, that's always going to be the case. And it doesn't take a rocket scientist and someone in kindergarten could say, "Oh, little Jimmy, did this go up or down from here? How about from here to here? Oh, lower down. Okay, good eyes. So have we been going up? Yeah, we have. And at some point, I wouldn't be surprised if altcoins have their moves. But again, at what point and to what degree? Because I could be saying this on a level where, let's just go to PivX, something I haven't traded in a while. Do the multiply by 100 million again. That gets me a better log scale. But PivX is 3627. And you could have been saying back in here when it was 13,000, okay, ready for a move, and that doesn't count. That wasn't much of a move. But you would have been like, okay, at least a move up to 60 or 70, 80, okay. Well, now I'm saying at least a move up to 14. And if it goes down to 500, well, maybe at least a move to 2,000. So the when, and I don't really care about the date term, but where on the when, what price it starts from, it could keep on going down to the point where it goes down to 425 and up to 2K. And it'll still get up to a point that's much lower than where it is now. And I'm not saying that's going to happen, just rather if it continues in this form. And the dominance rules, and this just has a significant move, then yeah. So as far as Fibonacci here, I'm going to finish it off within this. Although I'll take a quick look at the metals, although they weren't really doing too much when I looked last about an hour ago. So we'll go 400, and this was 130,000. Yeah, that makes more sense. 175,000 and 400. The key numbers are 4,000 and 17,000. So we're at that 4,000 mark now. And we'll be having support. Well, time will only tell. It's just barely there. It's a pierce extra below, which it's 50-50 mathematically speaking if it should pierce a little extra or below, but the results most certainly aren't. 17,000 was relatively a key level, but not so much on this decline here. But definitely amongst this consolidation period. And because this was a pierce higher, and that's what it like 23,000, which technically is that's a large pierce. No, that's really a 23.6 decline of around 38, 41 even, or 23 decline. So 41,006. Yeah, see, that's what all these support levels represent, a 41.6 mark. So we'll see here. This is at a key area of support now. And I'd like to thank you. And I don't own any PivX, by the way, not now. Thank you for tuning in to today's video, and have yourself a great day. Bye bye. Actually, yeah, I want to take a look at gold and silver. So let's take a look at that. So for those that have already left, I mean, I guess it's already buy. Gold's at 1471. It's doing well. I mean, this is a good positive hold in here as it's leaving the 18 average. We can see it's breaking above these trend lines, or the straight resistance lines anyway, horizontal lines. But this hour, it's doing something in itself. We had it come up close to the 18 average of highs at 6 o'clock and just hanging in there within it for this duration of time. And now it's breakout above, which is nice to see. And 15-minute time frame, it started basically about an hour ago. So nice. And what does this mean about silver? Is this a gold only move? Well, the ratio's not saying that. It's real. How does that make sense? It should be like up like 0.5% or zero point 0.4 something. It's 0.33. It's up either way. It's got a nice little strength pattern within the 18 average, and it's a pause period within this as well. Having a nice little hour at 60 and a half. Alrighty, thank you for tuning in. Have yourself a great day. Bye bye.